Hello. I'm going for a walk right now. Walking like my general area, city, township type stuff. And I figured I'll record myself talking a little bit. And I'll try to do this every time I go for a walk, which is probably every other day. I hope. We'll see. And I'll just upload it. Maybe come back in 20 years and be like, I remember doing that. And maybe, like, if I really get consistent with this and lose weight, which is my goal, I'll like gradually see my weight go down, at my face at least. You know? I tried recording this earlier, but I was next to the road and cars kept on going by and it was kind of loud. Which normally isn't a problem because I have my headphones in, but if I'm talking to a camera, it feels like it makes it hard to hear. I have no way of knowing, but that's just my assumption. But anyway, yeah, I'm going for a walk. I figure I'll record these, talk about things. I think I have some thoughts about a lot of things. I don't know exactly what I'll talk about every time. I figure I'll end up talking a lot about politics, just because, I mean, it's 2025, late 2025. If you know, you know. And if what you know is that Donald Trump is the worst, then, well, you know. And I'm sure plenty of things are going to be happening in the next year. So I'm sure you'll hear a lot about that here. Isn't that awesome? But you also might hear just things about me losing weight. A week ago I was at 290. But that was with a sweatshirt on and stuff and my phone in my hand. So I figure it's probably more like 280, like 7. Not that that matters. But I've been doing exercises. I've been like lifting weights, going on walks, long walks. And I weighed myself today before I did anything. I was at like 282-ish. That was with no sweatshirt on, no phone in hand. So I figure that's more closer to my true weight. I have some pretty light clothes on, so it's nice, you know? I looked in the mirror like late last night and I'm like, I don't think it was any different, but it felt different, which was cool. But yeah, I had this really bad habit when I was living in Bellingham and going to work. I would work 8 to 5 and it was like hard cutoff. You had to be there at 8. And I got into this terrible, terrible habit of not eating breakfast, showing up to work, not eating lunch, and then not eating anything until I got off at 5. That was a very bad habit. But it taught me that I have the willpower to just kind of like push myself through things. And I can get really hungry, for example, and just be like, I just don't eat. I think I got inspired a little bit by watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and there's the scene where like the teacher leaves them on some island and they get really hungry. I'm like, you really don't need to eat every day. You can live. And so I just ate a lot less. I still ate. It wasn't good food. It was a bad habit because I would just not eat, and then I would eat a lot, and then I would not eat. And that was mostly every day, so. Yeah, that sucks. But I've been counting my calories recently. I just walked by someone. Oh, this is my favorite part of the walk. Oh, there's some kids on bikes, so once I pass that, I'll show you. They're on bikes, so they should come fast. Anyway, here's what I was talking about. Doesn't that just look cool? I love to see like the far, just being able to see far, especially in Washington, because there's just so many trees. It's hard to see really far. Sometimes when my family goes to visit Ohio, it's kind of cool because you just see like, you can see for miles. It's all just flat and there's no big trees or anything. But anyway, this is the first one, so it's a little bit longer. I expect these videos not to take very long all the time. I have to find places in my walk where there's nobody around so I don't disturb other people, and also there's no cars. This is a pretty nice spot, but there's usually people on this road. There's not today because I think it was kind of rainy. But yeah, I don't know. It feels good to exercise, kind of. Today was the first day. Yesterday was my first rest day. It was my like 10th or 11th day of starting to work out. This was my first rest day, and it was kind of the first. Today was the first day where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. All the other days I felt motivated to do it, but not today as much. But I'm pushing through anyway, and I'm hoping that I can just continue on. But anyway, I don't want to talk about too many things, so I think I might just end it here. Hopefully my AirPods are working. I'm going to explain the frustrating things about my AirPods another time, because that could be a whole episode. But yeah, I think this will be a fun way to clear my mind, get some steps in, lose some weight. I'm hoping in a year or so. My ultimate goal is to go from 290 where I was at to like 200, maybe even less. But right now the number's a 2. The quest for 2. I'll call it that. This is my vlog series, The Quest for 2. A vlog. I'm recording vlogs like it's 2018. That's fucked up. That was 7 years ago. Almost 8. Well, it is what it is. Anyway. Yeah. It's been about 7.5 minutes. That's a good amount of... It takes 7... Well... Huh. But the distance I walked is less than I thought it would be for 7 minutes. I almost stepped on a slug. But yeah. I don't know. I don't have much else to talk about right now. I think anything I want to talk about would take too long. I want to save it for next time. So hopefully I record these every 2 days when I take a walk. Even if it's raining. I think I like the rain, so I'll probably go out in the rain, which is good because it rains a lot here. In the snow, maybe do that once or twice. See how I like it. Maybe they'll last long when it's snowy. But anyway, I'll sign off for this time. Hopefully, part 2 is in 2 days. We'll find out. Maybe part 2 is never. Anyway.